Hello, everyone. Welcome. You have reached the quarantine zone. And I'm very excited today because we are going live not only on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, but we're also going live on Instagram. So thank you very much to Emma Rawicz for hooking us up with her extremely massive following there. And we're pleased to welcome all of the Insta people. I should say that we cannot play our pre-recorded videos that we made over Insta. So we'll give you some kind of commentary behind the scenes on those as they play on the other platforms. But if you do want to hop over to YouTube or Facebook, you can check out the videos there. So without further ado, let's start. So I have with me a formidable young multi-instrumentalist who goes by the name of Emma Rawicz. Emma, how the hell are you, old sausage?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm doing well.
How was your day today? Did anything bad happen? Did you get stuck anywhere?
um, yeah, earlier today I got stuck in the lift in my building. It was a bit of a traumatic experience, but I'm learning from it, and and it's not going to happen again.
Wicked. Um, so I introduced you as a multi-instrumentalist just there, and I've realized that I'm not exactly sure about all the instruments that you play. I know for a fact you play tenor saxophone, soprano saxophone, flute, and that you sing, but are there any others up your sleeve that you've got? Or
I kind of play alto a
okay.
bit, but that's about it. I think if it was to go much beyond that, it would get a bit mental.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm saving up for an alto flute and a bass clarinet. So it's
Wicked.
it's probably it's probably going to get a bit mental. Oh yeah, I play clarinet as well.
Okay.
Yes, that,
Great. Crucially, that's like a reed. It's a whole different type of thing, I guess, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I wanted to ask you about bass clarinet because I love bass clarinet so much, and yeah, I'm pleased that you play it because maybe we can do some music, involving that. That sounds
Yeah.
great. Um, Tim Garland told me that when Chick Corea called him, like the first time, Chick was like, "Oh," like at the end of the phone call, he was like, "Oh, you do play bass clarinet, right?" So of course, the only answer to that question, whatever someone asks, is yes, of course I do. Yes.
Absolutely.
So then like ran out, got one, started shedding every day, writing etudes and so on. But yeah, you're ahead of the game anyway. You already play it. Um, okay, so folks, when I initially invited Emma to come on the stream and to do some collaborative videos, we hadn't actually met. I had just seen her on Instagram. Let me just share with you her Instagram profile. Check this out. 35,500 people want more Emma Rawicz sax in their life. So respect, Emma. That's an amazing following you've built up, and keep up the good work. Will you share with us? Well, I was going to say, can you share with us your favorite thing and your least favorite thing about Insta? But you don't have to share your least favorite thing if you want to keep it positive. And maybe a tip for any people on Instagram who have like 0 followers compared to you, like me. Um, how, yeah, tell us about Instagram for a moment. How do you find it?
Um, well, I mean, there are some really great positive things about it. It's just awesome to connect with people. I mean, if it wasn't for Instagram, then we wouldn't have been doing this, and we wouldn't have been playing together and all of this. So it's like, there's things like that allow you to connect with people, even in situations, especially like during the lockdown and stuff. When yeah, and Sam Leake as well. Little shout out there. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's pretty amazing that I think it's really cool, and I've met so many people and walked into so many new situations playing that with people that I just wouldn't have otherwise
Mm,
met. Unless I'd run into them at a jam session or something, which is very potluck and still great, and I still do that obviously,
mm,
but because there's no substitute for that. But it's yeah, it's a really great tool, and it's also for me. I think something about holding yourself accountable when you're using it as a kind of like log. Because for me, for like the
mm,
past like past like couple of months, I've kind of been using it as a bit of a practice log, things I've been working on and sharing that with people, which has been rewarding for me. And like you said about the least favorite thing, that's kind of gone away in a large part, because prior to it being like, because the thing about my videos, I like to think they're very honest. And there'll be the odd mistake in there, and I'll be like okay with that, because because the whole point is that it's practice. Right. So like, if you're not being honest about the fact that you didn't nail that fourth pattern straight away, then it kind of makes other people feel like, oh, why can't I do it first time? So I like kind of just putting my phone on music stand in a practice room, taking a video and being like, okay, warts and all, this is what I did today. And ever since I started doing that, I've had such positive interactions with strangers and just random people on the internet who've been like, it's really nice to see someone being honest, and it's inspiring.
Yeah, it is. I'm so pleased to hear you say that. I must admit, like, so I've been doing a lot of these collaborative videos, and sometimes I will maybe do like 4 takes, or I mean, the other day I did like 10 takes of a tune trying to get happy with it. I don't think I ended up using 10, but I would sort of splice between takes, and you can kind of cover it in the video edit. And I'm like, who am I kidding? Like what am I trying to do here? But ultimately, I think when you're kind of creating a recording, you're almost crafting something like a composer. So I sort of look at it like that. I don't try and keep it a secret from anyone, but I really, that honesty is super cool.
It's an interesting one, because before I was still posting stuff I was working on, like the classic kind of transcriptions on Instagram, and like plugging for gigs and stuff like that. But that was kind of the extent of what I posted. And it was, and like you said, I'd have like 10 goes at something and be like, oh my God, why am I still sounding crap? Like, why have I not nailed that line? And it's kind of, and I think it's really important to share, like when you have the facility to, the fact that everyone is messing everything up all the time, and like most people don't share that. So, and that's the same as literally like obviously the whole of life when it comes to social media. But I think a lot of musicians have kind of gone very much online, especially recently, like pre and like kind of during COVID. There's kind of been something that people have done. They've gone online and their self-esteem has just plummeted because they see people doing like perfect things first time, and that's not, it's not realistic.
Hey, guitar is the worst, but because it's electric, it's a lot easier, I think, to control the signal and manipulate it afterwards when you've recorded it. You've got like a digital, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of tidier than maybe the sound of a saxophone like could be. So
for sure.
Yeah, interesting. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, I don't know, maybe you're actually kind of new to this. Like, I'm sure eventually you will have heard people ask you to do this so many times, but like, can you give like a 1 or 2 minute like introduction to yourself? You're going to get asked this so many times by like interviewers and stuff like that. But like where you're studying, what's important to you, tell us about yourself.
Gosh. I play the sax and a few other things. We've covered that. I'm currently studying at the Royal Academy of Music on the jazz course. I'm in first year, which was really weird. Starting during COVID, it was like not a normal uni experience at all, but it's still been great. And to be honest, it's kind of made me make more of an effort to visit all the other colleges and play with people in as many different circles as possible, because I think if everything was fully up and running at Academy and you could bring people in, it would be quite easy to be quite lazy and not go out to meet people and kind of just play with the people who happen to be around. Whereas I've kind of done the complete opposite and been like, right, going out to play with someone new, someone, going to go to a jam session or like go to another college, and like it's been really valuable that for me, like, because it is literally all about just playing with loads of different people. But yeah, I'm at Academy. I mean, all the instrument stuff. This is really weird. I started playing when I was, I picked up a sax when I was 14, and then I picked up a tenor when I was 16, so 3 years ago. And yeah, no, I just thought it was really cool, and I just picked it up and played it like an alto for the first time, and I sounded terrible, I'm sure, but it's like one of those. It sounded one of those like it felt like one of those movie moments where you like just when someone does something in a movie, it's like oh meant to be, but like it sounds really weird and over dramatic and everything, but and like a bit cheesy, but
No, but if it's true, it's true,
it is true. I literally picked up an alto and I was like, yeah, this is my thing now. Because I'd played like violin and clarinet and piano and done all the classical singing stuff before that, and I loved it all. I really enjoyed it, but I'd not done any kind of improvisation.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about jazz at all. And actually, I kind of got into jazz by accident
Right.
because I was doing classical sax for quite a long time, and I find it quite dull. So I was kind of like, oh, this is fine. And I was auditioning for junior conservatoires because I'm originally from Devon, and there's not a whole lot for young musicians in Devon, to be honest. Like when it comes to like, I mean, there are still some great teachers around, but it's really hard to get that playing experience and stuff. So I auditioned for Junior Guildhall, and accidentally put in jazz sax instead of classical.
Actually, it's an accident.
Yeah, like I fully like did not intend to audition on jazz sax, but then I kind of thought I'll do the audition anyway. Turned up genuinely, no word of a lie. I read the lead sheet of Autumn Leaves and noodled for a bit, like complete like crap. Like I didn't know what a chord symbol was. I didn't know anything.
And then think it was the people like really hip or something.
Oh yeah, no, I probably thought it was ridiculously amazing, but it was. Looking back, it was shocking. And the people on the panel were just kind of like, what have I just heard? Like, what's going on? And they were like, do you know anything about jazz? And I was like, no, but that's the whole point of junior conservatoires is they teach you stuff. So surely if I know nothing, I should be coming here. And they were like, oh yeah, fair enough, here's a spot. And I started doing jazz, like my first lesson. My teacher was like, oh, do you know Blue Bossa? I was like, nope. Like, do you know what a 2-5-1 is? Nope. So it was really like starting from the basics, but like as soon as I started doing it, I was like completely sold on the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I went to study at Chetham's for 2 years, which was great too. Kind of a like really intense crash course, like loads of like time and opportunity to shed, which I definitely needed because I started so late.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm really happy it's kind of worked out this way, because I think if like one little thing had been different, then I probably wouldn't be here right now. So it's kind of
awesome. Yeah, all right. Well, yeah, let's listen a little bit. And yeah, once again, thank you so much, everyone who's tuned in on all the different platforms. So Instagram friends, remember, if you want to see the video that we're about to play, you're gonna have to hop on over to YouTube. Just search for Antlaw, or Facebook, search for Antlaw. It's a little yellow thingy bob. But if you do stay on Instagram, we'll talk about the video while it's going on. Okay, so let's play for you our version of Wayne Shorter's Black Nile, and you can hear the amazing Emma Rawicz play. Here we go. Hope you like it. Yes, Emma Rawicz on Wayne Shorter's Black Nile. Great playing, Emma. Do you have
Thanks.
any other favourite Wayne tunes that you like to play?
I love Yes or No.
Okay.
I just think it's such a cool tune.
Mm.
Gosh, I mean, like, Witch Hunt's great. I
Mm.
mean, honestly, like, I had a massive Wayne Shorter phase, like, very shortly after picking up the sax, and I
Right.
think I listened to just every single record. I really drove my mum mental because, like, she'd like drive me to school, and in the car, I'd just be playing like another Wayne album. She's like, "Oh my God,
It's
like,
like this
not
guy
remote."
again.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think my parents liked it, but there were definitely like some intense phases when
Yeah.
I was listening to jazz that they weren't so keen on. But yeah, no, like I've always say, and it's probably a pretty bold statement,
Mm.
but I think it's true. I don't think that there is a Wayne tune that I don't like. I've not come across one that I don't think is
Yeah,
killing.
I can't think of a rubbish one. I can't think of a single rubbish one, to be honest. I've been meaning to learn Anna Maria for a while. The chord progression is
Yeah.
just such a great journey. And I've played it, well, it used to be a favorite. Infant Eyes used to be a favorite. I've kind of,
Oh, I
it's
love
more
that
like
one too.
part of my diet. And actually, I think I've recorded that. Yeah, I've recorded that. It's going to come out. Little plug here. Matt Ridley is releasing an album called The Antidotes, coming out July 31st, I think. And we have a duo version, me and acoustic bass playing Infant Eyes by the same
Oh,
composer
wow.
as that last tune. So yeah, I can't remember how it sounds. So, but hopefully it's good. Um, what are you listening to at the moment, Emma?
Oh, massive variety of stuff. I think
Okay.
I mean, like, some Wayne for sure. Um, but quite recently, quite a lot of like Brad Mehldau and Joshua
Mm,
Redman,
okay.
and stuff like that. Because I mean, especially having played more in like smaller settings, like playing duo with like a pianist or a guitarist, is like something just didn't really do before, or like with a bassist, like
Mm,
it's all great. I really enjoy doing it, but prior to COVID, I was always like, no, I'll just get full rhythm section. Let's have
yeah.
that luxury because it's available to us.
Mm,
And now it's like sometimes it's like much easier when you don't have one of those or two of those, and it's like you just like it's like you were saying just now, like about like changing the way you play when
mm,
there's less of a reference point being provided by the rest of the band. Like, so for example, the Joshua Redman Brad Mehldau duo record Nearness, that's like so swinging, but it's like it's in a way a bit bizarre because like it's like there's a full band there.
mm.
But yeah, there's like I mean there's so many like duo records that I kind of need to check out, but that was like a big one for me that I've been listening to for years and it just doesn't get old.
Wow.
um
Okay. Awesome.
and then like Chris Potter, I've been really into Chris Potter. Really into Chris Potter.
Right.
Like everything there is, I've listened to.
Hey, have you seen that? Have you seen that clip where he guests with Snarky Puppy at the
Yeah.
I think it's at
Oh my
Cheltenham,
God.
and it's so funny because Chris he plays a really long solo, and then
Hmm.
like a horn backing comes in, and he takes the horn out of his mouth, and the crowd like go wild. But then the backing stops, and he realizes, oh no, he has to carry on solo. So he's like, he's just like he's going full speed
Yeah.
down the motorway, and he stops and he puts it back in and just like carries on going. And the same thing
Yeah, it's
happens a couple
mental.
more times just to deliver. I mean, to
Yeah.
basically come into like a large room, bring the house down, like with a long solo, it's like,
I know, and it's like
amazing.
the solo is so well crafted as well. I haven't taken
Yes.
it down, but like, I've listened to it so many
Yeah.
times, and
Yeah.
I keep meaning to take it down because it's just like it's
Yeah. The
just like
pacing. The pacing, right?
yeah, the pacing is mental. Like, because like that's definitely something I think. I mean, I don't have all the different gears to the degree that Chris Potter does. But
Hmm.
but like when it comes to kind of crafting a solo and giving it space to grow, that's something that I've been thinking a lot about fairly recently. And I mean, that's not something I'm going to stop thinking about ever,
Mm.
probably. But yeah, no, it's like such an interesting one, and like I think especially as like a sax player, I know a lot of sax players do, and actually sometimes guitarists too. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like it's like there's kind of this pressure at jam session to like get your chops out and be like, yeah, this is what I can do. This is what I can do. I can do all the fast stuff. I can do the altissimo. I've got the licks. Here's my like altered language on every single dominant. It's like it's just a bit much.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of people do that, and it's like because people do it, like you kind of think, oh, that means I need to do it, and then it ends up being quite tasteless.
Yeah, sure.
Quite quickly.
I must admit, I haven't been to a jam session in a long time. I mean, unless I'm getting paid to host it or something. Yeah, I think maybe that's the luxury of being an old dog like myself. But they are fun. They're definitely fun. But I always find that if you're hanging out somewhere until 2 or 3 in the morning, I'll always have a couple of beers, and then like by the time you're so tired and maybe like a little bit drunk or something, you just kind of want to go home. But yeah. So jam sessions. I had a question for you. So I might have mentioned earlier that when I approached Emma about doing these videos and coming on the stream, we hadn't actually met, but now we have met, and that is because we had a rehearsal. So why don't you tell us about the exciting stuff that you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, there's a lot of it. The soonest thing is I have my main show debut at Ronnie's on the 1st of June with my quintet. That's like a crazy thing to say. I normally never it's mad. But yeah, I'm playing at Ronnie's with Ant and Hugo Piper, Finjanoki and Scotty Thompson, the rest of my band. On the 1st of June, we're going to be playing pretty much all my original tunes. And they're actually the same tunes that I'm recording for my debut album 2 days after that. So it's a pretty full-on time. So it's a lot of new material that I've written that I'm really excited to gig, because so much of it has kind of been written, during COVID, when there just hasn't been that opportunity to see how that kind of takes its shape in a live performance setting, which will be really exciting, and it will definitely be good to experience that before recording the tunes too. But yeah, our debut album, Ronnie's gig, it's really exciting.
If people want to support you and you're making this record, as people hopefully know by now, sadly, producing high quality recorded music is extremely expensive. Studios are very expensive, all the equipment is expensive, pressing the CDs, blah, 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 blah. It's very expensive. You've got to get pianos tuned, you've got to get people in the same place. So if people want to support you, what can they do?
Well, I'm not signed to a record label or anything. I'm doing it all myself, which is both exciting and incredibly scary at the same time. But the result of it is I don't have any kind of financial backing at all. I applied for some grants, didn't get them. It's just how it is. But I was kind of you know what, I'm still going to do it. This is the year. And so I've got a GoFundMe in the link in my bio on Instagram. It's doing really well actually. The kind of most kind of immediate milestone that I really want to hit is £3,300. And I'm almost at 2,000 now, which is amazing. And people have been so generous, and it really means the world that people want to support me and stuff. But yeah, no, that sum of £3,300 covers the studio, engineering, mixing, mastering, all of that stuff together, all of that, and then paying the musicians as well, which is something I really believe is important, because I've had friends ask me so what's how does all that kind of money that you're asking for essentially add up to real life stuff that's getting. And I was well, and then I go through the whole list, and I mentioned paying the musicians. They're oh, you're not getting them to do it for free. Oh my god,
it's so funny. No. Yeah. I mean, it would be great, but we have to pay, bills.
Yeah, you have to pay the bills. It's you don't ask other people to do stuff for free, and it's your job. You don't ask, I don't know, a hairdresser to just cut your hair for exposure. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't happen.
It's quite funny. I think it might be because of streaming making music so accessible and kind of disposable. We're not really used to having to pay for it, basically.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, a big ambition of mine is to just record a ton of albums over the course of my career. This is just the first one. So I'm sure there'll be.
You should do one for every year at college.
For every year?
Yeah. You should do it. You've got first year
Oh my god.
done. That would be wicked.
Well, that would be wicked, to be fair. That would be really cool. It would be a lot of work, but
I'm
kind
paying
of
for it as well.
putting ideas in my head, and this is really bad. But yeah, no, and like I just make a point of saying, well, this is the first music of mine that I'm recording, going to put out there. I'm not starting a career that I hope will include lots of recording and all of this stuff. By not paying my band properly, it doesn't sit right with me, and it's not something I'm ever going to do. So like, I think it's like important that people know that that's something that is important. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to treat musicians like they're valuable. Do you know what I mean? And their work is valuable, because like it doesn't just happen for free.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, good on you for making it happen. Okay, well, we've nearly come to the end where we're gonna play our second video, which is a nice old standard. But before we do that, I'm very excited to have a new double silly segment on the show, which is called Stuff Ant Has Appropriated from Twitter Accounts That He Likes. Nice catchy title for you there. Here is the fact of the QZ, a bullet of truth coming at you right now. People on Instagram, you're not going to see this, so I'll read it out. Every day, humans collectively spend 1.2 million years on social media. Meta, eh? What do you think about that? All right. Second part of this segment, kids write jokes. I love this Twitter account. And Dad, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. My dad always gets annoyed when I share tweets from this account because he says it's just not funny. So if anyone else finds it not funny, then sorry about that. How old is a pig who doesn't know you? Infinity. I love that joke so much. All right, Emma, thank you so much for coming on the stream.
No worries.
Folks, go.
Great.
If you Google Emma Rawicz, that's Rawicz, Google Emma Rawicz GoFundMe. It's probably one of the first things that will come up. I think I found it that way the other day. Help this amazing young artist, give her a boost at the start of her career. Long recording career, I'm sure, I have no doubt. And yeah, Emma, thank you so much for bringing your musicianship to these pieces. I'm glad that we've hooked up, and I'm looking forward to, well, rehearsing tomorrow, playing the Ronnie's, recording. And yeah,
it'd be great.
Come out to Ronnie's. What was the date of the Scott's gig as well again?
1st of June, and it's got an audience, an actual in-person audience, so you can come. Like you can actually come to the gig, so please do, because it would be really, really amazing to see that.
Yeah, do come and get tickets quick, because I think it's reduced capacity, so they can do distance.
Yeah, it is.
So you need to get tickets quickly, folks. Just a little thing to say thank you to people from Indonesia, Mexico, Norway, Argentina. Oh my God. So Brazil, so many people. Thank you for all the support over on Instagram, go over to YouTube or Facebook, check out our video. Emma Rawicz, you rule. See you very soon. Hope you like this video, folks. See you soon. Bye. Bye.